Good morning. It's been we spent 2 nights now in the camper, so this is my second morning. Morning coffee. It rained all day yesterday, like all day long, and so because of that, even though I have 4 solar panels on the roof, I lost power last night. It's like I'm ready to go. All of a sudden, the battery bank is beeping its alarm at me, like really, 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 really loud. And so I had to get up and turn it off because, obviously, who wants to listen to that all dang all night long. I tried unplugging everything and just having my refrigerator plugged in and plug my refrigerator back in and turn it back on and for a few minutes, and then the alarm went off again. And so I guess I ran too much stuff yesterday because, I had music playing while I was, trying to do some painting, priming, I guess. I'm putting primer everywhere. I tried to do a recording yesterday of stuff that was going on, but, having one malfunction after another, because my phone that I have that I normally record on, of course, it's just a government phone, So one of those free phones you get when, you're on Medicaid and food stamps, because I have zero income right now. At the moment. So I got a free phone and it doesn't have very much memory. And so, because it doesn't have much memory, it doesn't help, doing video recordings very much, because I don't have a lot of stuff on my phone. It's mostly used so I can do Zoom calls with my therapist and contact services, and so people can get a hold of me when they need to, but anyway, so our heaters, I guess, working pretty well. It's working okay. It is currently 67 degrees inside the camper, and it is 39 degrees outside the camper. So 39 outside, 67 inside. I think I would call that a win. It's not as warm as Venus would like it, so she sits in front of the heater, or she sits up there, on top of her cat tree where it's warmer next to the ceiling, or she's over here under the blanket. But yesterday it was kind of chilly, with all the rain and everything, so, I've got this little panel heater here for her, but it's electric. And, it's only 5 to 10 watt heater, so it's very, very, very low wattage. So she has to be right up next to it. It's made for pets. It's a pet heater. It's a pet safety heater. So she won't get burned on it. Don't anybody worry. She can lay right up next to it, and it's all cool. It's a safety heater. I got it from Chewy specifically for her. Because everything revolves around my cat. So it's not on right now, obviously, because, my batteries are dead. I have to wait for the sun to come up and charge my batteries. So I have to minimize opening my refrigerator right now. I did make coffee this morning. Couldn't use my electric water pot. Luckily I have a backup. I do have a propane cook stove, so I had to pull that out, and then I had to go outside and go into I have a little like firebox outside that eventually I want to, get mounted onto the front of the camper, but I have to do some adjustments on it, to keep all of the flammable things in there, like, a little mini propane tanks and paint thinner and, all the stuff that you don't want, like, where it could potentially explode inside or whatever, I don't know. I'm trying to be safe because safety is kind of a key thing for me. Yeah, I want to be safe because even though I'm an adventurer, I'm not a thrill seeker. I don't really like danger. Although I do like to explore and try new things, and I have lots of new ideas about things. Like to try new things out. So we've got the ceiling vent open, as always. You have to have the ceiling vent open. It's a safety precaution when you're running propane inside. It'd probably be warmer in here if I didn't have to have that open, and if my my door actually closed properly, but it does not right now, so I will have to fix that. But just got in here, and then it got cold, and it rained all day, all night. All day and all night. Just rain, 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 rain. I love the rain. Don't get me wrong. I love, 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 love the rain. But when you're trying to get established in your new home, in your new little tiny camper, rain kind of gets in the way in the beginning. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of see if I can show you what I've done a little bit. I'm sitting up here in my bed, and some of the things that I kind of wanted to show before, that the videos just weren't working out because my other phone just won't hold the data, and so if I can't hold the data on the phone, I cannot upload it to YouTube. And I have a couple of like editing programs and things like on my computer that I thought I would try using, but they're subscription programs, and obviously I haven't used them in a while, so I haven't updated the subscription. So when I tried to do the editing and tried to it'll let me do the video, it'll let me edit the video, but as soon as I try to change the format of the video so that I can upload it to YouTube, yeah, it's like, oh, you need to pay this fee because, your subscription ran out and you need to buy a new subscription. Well, I ain't got no money. Can't pay for no subscription. Can't do no editing. So, sorry guys, but yesterday's videos going in the trash. Tried to do it. I'm trying to document everything, but, technical difficulties are what they are. I'm trying to figure all this out. I don't have a lot of resources at the moment. Oh, sorry. My arm did a little, I don't know, it had a mind of its own there for a second. So anyway, so my bed, my bed is right here. Sorry, I mean to look in front of the camera, but here's my bed space, This is kind of where we're at. This is just a old, sorry guys, my hands moving. So it's just I got this old Korean roll up bed that you get, and this is just an IKEA natural latex topper that I bought a few years ago. It's quite comfy actually, but the bed itself, because I don't know, I have money for lumber and all that stuff, so all of my things that you see right here, this was, excuse me, an old bookshelf. I had a bunch of bookshelves in my room at my stepdaughter's, where I was just at for the last 6 months. I was staying at her house, and spare room upstairs, and I had 3, let me see, 1, 2, I think I had 4 tall bookshelves and 3 short ones. So this was, of course, one of the tall ones cut in half, right down mid-size. So cut it in half, each one of the boards. All I have is my little jigsaw. So they are what they are. Not everything's straight. I don't care. It's workable. I'm doing it. I'm making it sturdy. I'm checking. I'm shaking stuff around. And, I don't want things to like fall out from underneath of me. I'm not trying to like get injured in this adventure or this lifestyle or my life as I'm figuring it out. So, right now, this is where we're at. I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have slats or whatever for the bottom of the bed. So I had some fabric. Took some fabric. Let's see if you can see it here. It's down here. So I had some fabric and I stapled it to the wall all the way around. Well, it's not to the wall. It's to these more slats that I of my bookshelf that I cut in half, and I made boards and I screwed those to the wall. And then I took the fabric and, I stapled it all the way around. And then I did get a little trim pieces of wood, which, by the way, I don't recommend because they were kind of shit. Honestly, it's like I'm like using teeny tiny little tiny nails to like nail it down because, I'm trying to give the fabric extra support because it's just like a silk fabric. It's a recycled sari is what it is, It's a freaking recycled sari fabric that I ordered from India a couple years ago in a bulk supply thing that I have for projects, just random fabric that, and it was cheap. So I bought it and I was like, oh, cool, sorry. So it's a recycled sari. And so I stapled it all the way around. And then I got some trim. I didn't have enough trim to go all the way around, but I got the two main long sides. And so I'm putting those little nails in there to give it extra reinforcement or whatever because, I figured the staples probably weren't going to be enough, and I rolled up the fabric to try to give it extra thickness because, sorry, fabric isn't that thick, and I figured my weight would probably tear it, So I rolled it to make it a little bit thicker, to give it a little extra body, so that the staples would hold and the nails would hold. And for the most part, yeah, that's happening. Every once in a while I can hear a little, what sounds like the fabric might be tearing. But, also with this fabric, it's kind of stretched or something a little bit. I'm not really sure what happened, but I thought I had it pulled tight, but it's not that tight. So it's a little bit of a bow. That's okay. It works out okay. Me and my kitty, we sleep in here last night, and it's all good. It worked out well. So right now we just got primer up on the wall in some places, not everywhere. I'm still working on it. Bought a can of primer yesterday at Walmart for $20. There's my other kitty, Malusia. And so, I had some scrap wood, over there, and I'm piecing it all together as I get materials. And I screwed that board down over there, and I primed it all, and my propane cook stove over there so I could heat up some water, make some coffee this morning, and my heater's over there on the wall. Refrigerator, which sucks up way too much energy. But right now there's just a lot going on. It's a mess, I know, but most of my stuff is pretty much everything I own is in storage right now. I don't have a big storage unit. It's 5x10, but I did pack it pretty full. So as I get this built in here and get some shelves and stuff built, because I'm using my bookshelves for the build as my lumber, and I'll piece it together. But of course I need electricity to do all that because I do not have battery tools. I have the kind you plug in. Got the kind that plugs in. So I need my battery generator to give me some electricity so I can do some cutting and some drilling. And I'm gonna have to wait a little bit on that today for the, at least it looks like it's gonna be a sunny day today, but yeah, so it should get charged back up okay, I suppose. adventures, life, learning how to live a simpler, more, you know, solitary life where I can heal from all this freaking crap trauma I've had to deal with. So much trauma. I'm just... Ugh. So anyway, I'm trying to heal. I'm healing. This is part of it. YouTube channel, trauma therapy, backup therapy. And yeah, so we're building. We're trying to work it out. Venus is now over there on her little pillow next to the heater. Keep her nice and warm and toasty. That's going to be her favorite spot, but unfortunately it's not going to stay there because I don't feel like it's totally safe. It's okay for the moment, but I think I want to move that heater down. It's like I've already moved the heater once. I moved it yesterday because the first night I was in here, the parameters for the heater are, for safety reasons, it says you need to have 4 inches clearance on either side, 18 inches above, 30 inches in front of it. So originally I had it set up where it was 4 inches from the side wall. But my first night in here, I had the heater turned up on high, and I thought the wall next to it was getting too hot. Even though it was within the safety parameters. I don't know how hot is too hot, but it makes me nervous because I've lived through a house fire many, many years ago, and fire really, really traumatizes me. I'm really scared of fire. I have to deal with it. It's part of life. But I'm very cautious when it comes to fire because that shit is no joke, y'all. It's no fucking joke. Sorry about my foul language, but hey, I'm human. And if you don't like the F-bomb, then probably shouldn't watch my channel because it does come out. I'm sorry. It is the way it is. I'm not going to edit myself, too much. I will a little bit because, I'm not trying to be crude or whatever, but, yeah. So, but anyway, because it's up kind of high, the heater, it's heating the top half of the camper pretty well, but the bottom half of the camper obviously isn't getting heated too well. So, I need to get I need to make some cabinet doors, some cabinet doors. I need to put some dividing mechanisms in down there and split that all up so I have a place to put my food and a place to put my water tanks and, some storage or whatever. I don't know what I need to have down there, but I need one area for my water tanks because I'm gonna have to go buy some water tanks to put so I have water, because right now I just have some jugs that I'm filling up in the house. But yeah, so eventually I'm gonna have to get water tanks, but I want to enclose like the battery packs. I mean, it's a pretty, and I have a nature's generator, solar generator. I bought this a couple years ago when I was still in Colorado. I thought I was going to stay in Colorado. I wasn't really sure, but I had a piece of land out there, but I was living with my boyfriend, and he wouldn't let me do anything on my land. So it just kind of sat there. And it was like really, really freaking frustrating because I bought that piece of land because I wanted to live on it. I wanted to homestead on it. I wanted to learn how to, be self-sufficient and do things on my own. And he just got in the way of all that. Controlling people, they have to control everything you do. You don't have to do anything for yourself. Everything has to benefit them, right? If it doesn't benefit them, then, you're not allowed to do it. Otherwise, if you try to push through, you pay the price. And sometimes the price just isn't worth it. I'd much rather have peace than conflict. So, but after 5.5 years, I couldn't take it anymore. And so I left. And I came back to the East Coast. And, you know, a bunch of stuff happened. I had a mental breakdown. I ended up in a psych hospital for a while, for, I don't know, a week or so. About a week, I guess. But, you know, needless to say, never, ever, 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 ever want to do that again. Because psych hospitals suck. They do. They just suck. And so, anyway, I'm going to figure out what to do today. I need some power, y'all. I gotta let my generators, like my battery banks, charge up. But anyway, anyway. So, a couple years ago, when Donald Trump was in office, I know some people don't like Donald Trump. I like him just fine. But I mean, I guess he's it's kind of funny because, I never really liked him when he was like as a celebrity. I thought he was kind of arrogant and all that or whatever stuff, blah, 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 blah. But, I figure like, he was a good businessman, and the country is a business, it's a business. You need somebody that's a good businessman to operate a business. And he did that. But, everybody has their own, I feel like he was a better option over what we have now. For sure. Just my opinion. But either way, I kind of exited myself from all that stuff. I don't own a television. I haven't watched TV in years. I don't vote. I don't do any of that mess. I try to not engage as much as possible. But when he went through all that, and when he was in office, he let people like pull out their 401k. So I did that because, hell, I was in a panic, y'all. I was in a panic. COVID was happening. I didn't know what was going on. I thought our country was going to war. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was, I did the panic thing. I pulled all my money out. I bought a bunch of essential supplies, bought, solar generator. I even had a windmill, but I had to leave the windmill in Colorado. I didn't even get to pull it out of the box. It's still in the freaking box, and I had to leave it because I couldn't fit everything that I needed to fit in this camper. Well, it wasn't that I couldn't fit it. The camper, because this is a 57, it's a 1957. The axle and on it, it was too much weight, basically. So I had to pick and choose what I brought with me, and which really kind of sucked because I spent a shit ton of money on survival supplies that I had to freaking leave behind. So now I don't have the money and I don't have the supplies. Sucks to be me, right? Bad choices, impulsivity, mental health issues, bad choices, bad relationships. I got dealt a shitty hand when I came onto this planet. I got dealt a shit hand. I tried to make do with what I got, but I'm gonna tell you, this shit ain't been easy. It's not been easy. Mental breakdowns are no joke. I'm in the process of getting formal diagnoses, when I was in the hospital, psych ward, they diagnosed me with chronic PTSD, adjustment disorder, a possible borderline personality disorder. Which makes sense because I do have a shit ton of abandonment issues, and I had a shit childhood. And, so it's possible, I guess. But I'm more on the quiet variety because, I'm not generally an angry person, I don't rage out on people for the most part. unless I'm just so, I get to the point where I'm just so frustrated that um, that I can't seem to communicate with people, or I can't seem to get them to understand where I'm coming from. I don't know. It's like, I have a tendency of saying things over and over and over again in multiple different ways, trying to get people to understand what I'm saying, and they still look at me like I'm from another planet, which I guess I am. So situations like that lead to extreme frustration, and after being in extreme frustration for an extended period of time, there is quite a possibility that I may rage out temporarily. But it doesn't last long, and I'm sorry. I don't like getting like that. I hate anger. I don't like anger at all. It's a very unpleasant feeling. And of course when that happens, then I have to spend a good, 2, 3, 4 days recovering, and that's no fun either. Having to recover from your issues. So anyway, I'm going through a formal diagnosis. I've, just went through all this testing processes, over the last couple of weeks, where they're testing me for autism, they're testing me for attention deficit shit, and, anxiety related disorders, and trauma related disorders, and depression, and all that other stuff. And in another week, I'll get the results. So I guess then we'll find out what's going on, where to go from there, and what to do. Try to figure out a plan for getting through all the healing and everything. Currently trying to get disability, but it's in the appeal process because, of course, they denied me, which is kind of funny, because in their denial, they put on there that they felt like I could have adjusted to other types of work, but literally my diagnosis is adjustment disorder, which means I fail to adjust. It's just like I don't adjust very well. I can't help it. I don't like changes to my schedule. I don't like things happening suddenly, changes that occur suddenly. I kind of can't go with the flow. I mean, I've done that most of my life, gone with the flow, and, trying to do that, and it's put me in a lot of really bad, negative situations where people were using me basically to meet their needs, and not caring about how it would affect me personally and my mental health and my issues. And these are even people that are supposed to have cared about me, people that knew my history and knew all the shit that I've been through, and still chose to manipulate me. So I don't adjust very well because I don't trust. I don't trust people to not take advantage of me. I don't trust people to not harm me for their own benefit. Not that they're harming me intentionally, but they're harming me by not caring about how their decisions, or what it is that they're trying to get me to do, how it's going to affect me mentally. So, and my well-being, and, my mental health. So, I say no to everything. No first, until you explain yourself and convince me that what you want me to do is in my benefit, in a way that I can understand and that makes sense to me, and where I don't feel like I am being pushed too quickly. So, I'm starting to get chilly now, but it's still 67. I got my thermometer in here. So, I got this little temperature thing here to let me know how warm it is inside, so I can kind of keep track of the inside temperature, because I'm trying to, make sure it's warm enough for me and for my cat. Her first, me second, but you know, at least she's got, you know, it's a little bit chilly in here, I think, right now, but she's sitting in front of the heater, so she's nice and warm and toasty over there. I'm on the other side of the camper, way away from the heater. It's a little bit cooler. And I only have 30-pound propane tank. And I'm going to have to get it inspected because I didn't know this. I didn't know you had to have those inspected every 7 years. And I bought this tank 7 years ago when I first bought my land in Colorado because I was going to homestead on my land. And, you know, I had a 30-pound tank and I had two 20-pound blah, blah, blah. I had two 20-pound tanks also. Well, now I only have the one 30-pound tank. And, of course, it's 7 years old and it needs to be inspected, even though it's been in storage for the last 7 years. And it's only actually, this is only the second time it's been filled up since I bought it. But when they filled it for me, they said, well, because it just expired, they would go ahead and fill it. But before they fill it again, I have to get it inspected to make sure it's okay. So I have to find a propane tank inspection place around here some freaking where. I've never had to do that before. I don't know all those technical difficulties. I don't know how much it's going to cost me to have it inspected. I don't know how long this 30-pound tank is going to last heating up my camper. So now it's been running on full blast for 2 days because it's been freaking cold. It's February, by the way. So it's cold. It was warm last week. It was like spring. It was so freaking warm. It was in the 70s. It was 70s in the 70s. And now it's back down into the freaking 30s. Overnight, it went from 70 to 30s. I was like, man, it's going to be so cool. It's going to be nice and sunny. It's going to be nice and warm. And as soon as I got in my camper, the freaking temperature changed again. But it's February, so I've kind of figured it probably will change. So, just never know this time of year. You know, weather's unpredictable. If you get a couple warm days, you're lucky. Be thankful for them. And I was, because I was in here building my bed, building my cabinetry. Well, starting it anyway. You know. So yeah, here we are. And yeah, that's it. That is it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's about it for now. So we'll have to talk with you guys later. Give you some more input later on. Figuring out this new lifestyle, where this journey's going to take me. It's my journey of self-discovery. Never really got to know myself growing up, you know. I don't know if anybody knows about Pentecostals, but my grandmother was Pentecostal, very strict, and she did a good, well, I wouldn't say most of my raising, but she had a very large influence on my life, and I did live with her, you know, in my early years, and off and on, sporadically, till I became a teenager, you know, here and there, you know. And so, yeah, life for girls is very different when you're Pentecostal. And my stepmother was Korean, so then you got that Asian influence, you know, from Korea, or at least her influence. I don't know that. I've met some Koreans that are really, really great people. They're so nice. There's like the sweetest people on the freaking planet. And then there are some Koreans, like my stepmother, who was the most horrid person I've ever met. in my life. She was so evil, and she hated me, and she let me know it. Oh my gosh, that woman terrified me daily. From the time I was 5 till the time I was 11, when she finally divorced my dad. Horrible person. Horrible, 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 horrible person. Anyway. Well, this is a start. We're getting started. Starting over. We'll see how it goes. So, anyway. Y'all get to know me as time passes on. I'm not going to give you everything in one episode. So, there we go. All right. Talk to you later. Bye now. Come on, stop.